A self-proclaimed time traveler insisted that he was transported to the year 2137, and witnessed flying cities, as well as the apocalyptic aftermath of a global nuclear war in around the year 2025. Bielek claimed until his death that he spent time in two separate periods of the future, before returning to the present to reveal his unbelievable story. Bielek claimed he was part of the so-called Philadelphia experiment, a series of top-secret tests carried out by the U.S. Navy during the Second World War to test Albert Einstein's unified field theory. The idea was to make a naval ship invisible, but Bielek insisted that the true purpose of the experiment was actually time travel. In 1990, he claimed that he had spent time in two separate periods in the future, before returning to the present day to tell his story. But what emerged was a series of truly unbelievable revelations. The little that is known for certain about Al's life, is that he was born in 1927. Known as a strange child in his own words, he claimed his first memory was when he was just 9 months old. At a family Christmas party, he found he was able to fully understand the adults talking in the room around him. When he was just 16, he joined the U.S. Navy to help fight the Nazis. It was at this time in 1943, serving as a lowly naval officer aboard the USS Eldridge, that Al claimed he traveled in time. The Eldridge was supposedly harboring the Philadelphia experiment. On August 13, 1943, Bielek and his brother Duncan jumped off the ship to escape a strange light, and landed in the year 2137. In a video lecture he filmed in the 1990s, Bielek said, "When Duncan and I jumped overboard, off the ship, in hyperspace, we didn't know what was happening and where we were going, or if we were going anywhere, except, of course, into the water. We expected to hit the water in the bay and swim ashore. But no water, we never hit it, we kept falling and falling for quite a period of time." Bielek claimed the pair awoke in a hospital bed with no recollection of how they got there. The first sign that something was wrong was that the room had a wall-mounted color TV, very unusual for 1943. They were told by hospital staff that they had suffered severe radiation burns, not from a nuclear attack, but from the radiation found in deep space. Bielek claimed they were told that there were very few surviving cities around the world, and no more national boundaries or government. Eventually, the pair asked to see maps of the world and were reportedly stunned by how much it had changed in the preceding 2 centuries. As Bielek explained, much of California was now underwater, stretching to the San Andreas fault line, and there was not much left of Los Angeles as a functioning city. Many major U.S. cities such as Chicago, New Orleans, and San Diego were gone, while rising sea levels had seen the Great Lakes become one giant body of water, and the Mississippi River widen, becoming 30 miles wide at its narrowest point. In Europe, he said most of England had gone, while the Scottish Highlands and some of Ireland remained. Much of Europe was underwater, even parts of Switzerland. Most dramatically, he claimed that when he asked a hospital technician, he was told that the world's population had plummeted to just 300 million. He said he learned that most of the world's governments had crumbled away by the year 2025. A nuclear World War III killed millions, but, he claimed, far more were wiped out by changes to the Earth. Bielek said that one day, he was walking around the hospital grounds when he was transported even further ahead in time, to around the year 2750. By this point, society had drastically changed. Many cities had gone, but floating cities now existed, thanks to anti-gravity techniques, some of them stretching more than 2.5 miles into the sky. The countries of the world had all gone, and instead, most people lived in a series of self-governing city-states. Bielek said that these city-states had no elected or appointed government. Instead, each city was run by an intelligent computer with synthetic intelligence called the Synthetic Intelligence Computer System, that worked telepathically. It was illegal for humans to leave certain zones, and the governing supercomputers had the ability to terminate offending individuals there and then. Bielek claimed he had spoken to the computer, and asked it how such a system of governance came to be. He was told that the project had started a couple of centuries earlier around the year 2600. No militaries existed, as technology had made conflict practically impossible, and everything was now free. He said he stayed there for 2 years before being sent back to 2137 to pick up his brother. Eventually, Bielek claimed he was sent back in time, but not to the period he had come from. Instead, he appeared in 1983 on August 12 just after 2 a.m. There, he claimed he met Dr. John von Neumann, the Hungarian-American mathematician. This is despite the fact Dr. von Neumann died in 1957, some quarter of a century earlier. He convinced the two brothers to return to their original time and stop the Philadelphia experiment from ever happening. After his time in the Navy, Bielek said he was recruited by military contractors, who revealed that the U.S. military was secretly adapting alien technology and forwarding research on psychic operations. Soon afterwards, he was recruited to the Montauk Project, a conspiracy theory that alleges that the U.S. government conducted secret projects in Montauk, New York, including for psychological warfare and time travel. He even claimed he was able to travel to Mars on several occasions, as well as to a research station in the year 100,000 BC. But sadly, once he came forward with his wacky theories in the year 1990, Bielek said the U.S. government disowned him. Bielek, who now insisted his real name was Edward Cameron and that he had been living for more than 100 years, believed the government didn't try to silence him because his experiments in time travel locked him into the current timeline. Al Bielek passed away, officially, on October 10, 2011, in Guadalajara, Mexico, at the age of 84.